So this week, welcome back to another Delivered Food Review. We have possibly the best in the UK. Some might say the cod's scallops. Stick around, you'll see exactly how I rated it, what it cost me, and was the reality anywhere near the advertised. So as we do every week, the unbagging, unboxing, no, not quite unboxing, that's next, whatever you want to call it, taking everything out of the bag. So the cod scallops, on the kind of similar vibe as I say to the dogs, old school kind of phrase, being the best, top of the line. And apparently, best in the UK, multiple awards, which I'm not going to go through. You can have a look on their website. And there's also in the description a review by The Guardian named the cod scallops in the top 20 fish and chip shops in the UK. But I think they actually got #1 fish and chip shop in the UK in, I believe, I said on the bag, 2020. So obviously people continually at home at that moment in time, which we're not going to go into. So plenty of time to judge. And came out on top. So the cod scallops, they are, I think, a family-run business, or at least started as a family-run business. 3 or 4 outlets in Nottingham, West Bridgford, Long Eaton, and Wollaston. And as you can see there, so far, boxing presentation. And it was spot on. I mean, I'm not sort of just adding to them. I've got, again, just to reiterate, there's no affiliation with any of these companies at all. I'm not getting paid to do these reviews at all whatsoever. So just off my own back. And I think these have got to be, as they say, one of the best. Now, the prices, I would say a little bit crazy, especially the jumbo scampi, which you'll see as the first part was, I don't know. We'll see, obviously, on the review. But the prices, again, they're just, you're paying a premium, and I get that, but we're not in London, and everybody that doesn't know the UK, London is the centre for extortionate prices, being the capital. You can see there straight away, mini cod and chips, scampi, peas, brownie, and what else did I have? Oh, the sauce, probably should have added in there, but either way, it's just a sauce. So if we start with the jumbo scampi, just as their write-up, shrimply, that's pretty good, the best scampi you'll ever taste. Okay, served with homemade tartar sauce and lemon. Didn't have the tartar sauce, but I had the lemon. So a lot of space, which you'll see there. They were pretty big, don't get me wrong. As far as scampi, shrimp, whatever you want to call them, go, they were pretty damn good. The coating was maybe a little bit overdone, kind of a little bit too crunchy, and the sort of inner, sort of the batter that would have been around it in the first place, obviously, the inner shrimp, scampi, whatever you want to call it, obviously reduces in size dramatically. So, I mean, if these are jumbo, then I don't know what small are, but I wouldn't say they're massive. I wouldn't say they're jumbo. Not saying they said massive, but either way, they weren't bad. The flavour was brilliant. The freshness of it all came through straight away. But to say it was £11, whatever it was, I mean, £11. That's a lot of money. I would say you're talking, £16 is £2 a scampi, but nothing's going down in price at the end of the day. So, good price to a degree if it is fresh and it's all genuine. Flavour-wise, very nice. Obviously, they're quite plain, so you do need the lemon with it. However, onto the chips, or the mini fish and chips. We're starting off with the chips first. These were brilliant chippy chips, as it were. So customers' favourite choice for their chippy tea. Mild flavour with a flaky white flesh. Our legendary award-winning chips, okay? Hand-cut daily and fried to order, using only the best seasonal British potatoes. And they were really good. Being in Long Eaton is only, sort of 5 minutes or so down the road. A little bit firm again, you can see there kind of almost like a crunch to them, which is not a bad thing. The flavour-wise, you could sort of taste the, what they were cooked in. I believe Wollaston does beef tallow on the fish, which they don't do down this end, Long Eaton end rather. Not sure why, but the chips, as far as chip shop chips goes, they weren't as soft as maybe George's, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I think having a bit more of a fry sort of style to it, like a crunch on the outside, soft on the inside, is a far better chip. They weren't greasy by any means, they had that little bit of grease to them, but Yeah, and just as I'm showing you there, the homemade, I think it was, garlic sauce was very, very garlicky. I mean, if you like garlic, it's really nice sauce. There's probably a little bit too many kind of chunks of garlic in it. You know, if they'd have smoothed that out a little bit, or maybe added less, a bit more mayo. I think they're kind of like chives, I think, in it. I'm not 100% sure, but it was really nice sauce. Could have done with it being a bit bigger, since it's £1.80. £1.80 for sauce. You buy a whole bottle for that. Anyway, onto the fish. The batter, spot on. I mean, it's almost like, if you think of the Popeyes batter, kind of a shatter batter. The fish cooked perfectly, not too soft, like undercooked, not overly cooked, so it's rubbery, which is really good fish. And advertise versus reality, best picture I could find in terms of advertising. It was not far off. If that's the mini, and I'm going to have the normal or large or whatever they do, cod or haddock. I do prefer haddock because it has a little bit more flavour, but they only seem to do, I think, cod in the mini fish. I'm going to have the normal size. It's going to be like a whale. Like, I'm going to have to get a new, sort of kitchenette to extend and have somewhere to actually put the damn fish. But if that's mini, I mean, I've never seen that in my life. But the fish, the batter, not too greasy as well. As I say, there is a bit of grease to it because obviously batter, but there's no, I think like Gary Eats and everybody else that's done these fish and chip shop reviews, it wasn't squidgy, kind of like undercooked batter around the fish. So it was all cooked brilliantly. The kind of darker orange, in terms of what they cooked in, was nice. You know, the flavours were there. The cod was, I'm going to assume, exceptionally fresh. Obviously, we're not on the coast, but either way, look at that. I mean, for a mini fillet, or mini cod, I should say. Well, it was fillet, so no bones, but yeah, it was brilliant. I'm actually almost lost for words. It was got to be one of the best, as it says, chip shops I've been to. So without waffling and going on a bit too far there, the mushy peas were like fish and chip shop peas. They were like fairground peas. So a little bit of mint sauce on them, I think, would have gone a long way. I should have done that with fish and chips. I don't know why I don't do that, but they were brilliant. They were probably just, some people maybe don't or won't like the kind of like really thick mushy peas. They weren't sort of like thin at all. They were really thick. The flavour-wise to them, they have got quite a sort of a neutral or sort of a bland sort of flavour a lot of the time with peas. But to add it to the fish, add it to the chips and everything else, I can't fault them. I mean, the only thing I can fault, again, I'm not going to say the price because it is pretty daft, but I think it was like, no, I should say it, shouldn't I? £3 for mushy peas that size. It should be at least a quarter bigger than what it was. But they were good and they were flavourful. So again, waffling again, apology. The orange brownie, I think, is by a company in Beeston that do brownies, I believe. I could be wrong on that. But it was quite dry, to be honest with you. It was the only thing that was slightly disappointing. The flavour was brilliant. The chocolate, the orange or chocolate orange, the brownie itself. But as you can see there, it's kind of like crumbling away a bit. I think it's probably just a brownie that had been out, through the day, obviously got air to it, and it's kind of dried out a little bit. But when that came out of the oven, 15 minutes after out of the oven, I think it'd be absolutely brilliant. But, the Terry's chocolate orange piece on the top, really, really good. Again, the price, you can look at the prices, you decide. Every week I say the same thing about these prices, and yes, it was bundled in with the meal, so apology for that, but I put it obviously at the start of the video. Excuse me. So onto the ratings. Brilliant fish and chip shop. Obviously 2020 was when they won the award, as you see there. Opened in 2011. You look at the score there, 9.75, absolutely brilliant. I appreciate everybody watching, and if you haven't and you feel like it, have a look at these videos.